This light and lemony asparagus soup with thick, comforting texture ticks all the boxes. Roasted asparagus, creamy white beans, fresh lemon and dill. This soup is the perfect combination of a light and refreshing flavor with the heartiness of a thick and filling soup. The white beans provide a boost of protein, and the asparagus is of course the star. And here's a tip for storing asparagus once you buy it. I always stand asparagus up in a little bit of water in my fridge. You can kind of treat it like you would fresh flowers. Some people wrap the asparagus spears in a damp paper towel or a plastic bag, but I find that as long as I use it within a couple days, it stays really fresh and crisp like this. And this is a great recipe if you have some asparagus in your fridge that's maybe been there for a little too long. You can roast it and puree it. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit and remove the woody ends from the asparagus spears. To snap or not to snap is highly debated. If you use the snapping version, you could be losing a good amount of usable asparagus, so you can just cut an inch or two from the bottom to remove the woody ends. But whether I use the snapping or the trimming method, I always add these ends to my frozen veggie scraps for homemade vegetable broth. And too much asparagus in a broth can make it taste a little bitter, so I usually split the bunch between two veggie scrap bags. Arrange the spears on a lined baking sheet, drizzle with a touch of oil, and sprinkle with salt and pepper. Roast for 8 to 12 minutes, turning once halfway through. Meanwhile, add half a medium-sized onion, diced, and 3 cloves of minced garlic to a large pot over medium-low heat. Saute these in a bit of oil or just cook them in a little water or broth for 2 to 3 minutes until the onion is translucent and the garlic fragrant. Remember, you can season with a bit of salt and pepper as you toss new ingredients into the pot. Stir in 3 cups white kidney beans or cannellini beans, 2 cups peeled and diced potatoes, and cover with 4 cups vegetable broth. Bring the soup to a boil, then lower the heat to a simmer and simmer with the lid on for 5 minutes or so until the potatoes are soft and easily pierced with a fork. Meanwhile, remove the asparagus from the oven, reserve a few tops for garnishing the soup, and when cool enough to handle, slice the remaining spears into smaller pieces that will be easier to blend. Add the chopped roasted asparagus to the pot with 1 cup unsweetened non-dairy milk, 3 to 5 tablespoons of lemon juice depending on preference, 2 tablespoons chopped dill, and an optional 1 tablespoon nutritional yeast to deepen the flavors. Use an immersion blender to puree the soup or carefully transfer it to a stand blender and blend in batches if necessary. Once blended, continue to cook for about 5 minutes to bring all the flavors together. Taste and adjust to your liking, adding more lemon juice, salt for seasoning, or pepper for a bit of zing. If you like a thinner soup, just add a bit more milk or broth and you're ready to serve. This lemon asparagus soup is so easy, and I often make it with frozen dill and lemon juice from concentrate if I don't have the fresh ingredients. And as always, extra savings can be had by making your own vegetable broth. My video for nearly free vegetable broth is linked below so you can see how easy it is. The cost of the soup does fluctuate for me depending on whether or not asparagus is in season, but generally this recipe serves 4 as a main, 6 as an appetizer, and costs us less than $10 to make using my homemade broth. If I use store-bought broth, it can add up to $3 to my cost. I hope you're excited to make this simple soup recipe, and please hit that subscribe button and follow along with us for more, and turn on those notifications because you're not going to want to miss the next one. Coming up next, we have a vegan eggs Benedict. The hyperbole really is warranted for this one. This is the perfect asparagus soup, if I do say so